All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to His due to Yahweh by Hashem Yeshua by Hashem Chakadas. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught the truth. Salutations to the sincere brothers out there who preach the truth and edifying the brothers and sisters who are studying diligence and presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. And salutations to the hopeful elect God brought throughout the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the few Agawaf who may be listening and watching and are seeking the Lord diligently. Today, the brother Iwab come at you today with another lesson through the spring power of Yahweh Shem Shabbat entitled something to the effect of, come on, you can't be slipping up like this. And this is going into an article, into an incident that happened, what is today? Today's the 15th, and it happened last Tuesday, I believe. But it continues to be updated. So it says, NIH very concerned about serious side effect in AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine trials. So we're just gonna watch the video real quick. This is it.
Tonight, legendary journalist Bob Woodward.
Let's just go by real quick.
This is stupid. We gotta work together.
You're right.
Sanjay, any sense of how long the pause will be, and what does this mean for the people who are in the trial that it's paused? I mean, there have been a number of people who've already taken the vaccine. What happens with them? Does it mean they don't get the second dose? What's going on here?
Yeah, no, the vaccine trial is paused, which means that people won't be getting a second dose. There is an independent board that is continuously reviewing the data. So they will look at data and see even perhaps if there's any evidence of whatever this adverse effect was in other trial participants. It's something that they're doing anyway. I was talking to a couple sources this morning. Again, we're not sure. We know that there's been some reporting of what the adverse effect may have been. We're still not certain what the adverse effect was, but sometimes there are certain biomarkers. One of my sources was telling me that they may go back and test those biomarkers to see even if other participants don't have symptoms, do they have some evidence in their blood that they did develop this sort of adverse effect as well. So it's a pause. It's not a halt. It's a pause, and it can take a while. The person who has the adverse effect, they need to see if this person recovers from this. And again, for the most part, these are healthy volunteers going into this, right? This is a big difference from sort of thinking about a trial for a therapeutic for a disease that's where someone's in the hospital. In those situations, you know, your bar may be a little bit lower in terms of what you're willing to accept. Here, healthy volunteer, walked in healthy, now has a significant problem. They've got to investigate that.
So you know, one of the volunteers took the vaccine, and they got an illness, I suppose. And I'm gonna get into what one source thinks the illness is. But it says, Kaiser Health News, the Food and Drug Administration is weighing whether to follow British regulators in resuming a coronavirus vaccine trial that was halted when a participant suffered spinal cord damage, even as the National Institute of Health has launched an investigation of the case. So Britain and the UK, they resumed the vaccines, the trials, but the United States still hasn't started theirs back up yet. It says the highest levels of NIH are very concerned, said Dr. Avendra Nath, intramural clinic director and a leader of viral research at the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke and in the NIH division. Everyone hopes are on a vaccine. If you have a major complication, the whole thing could get derailed. It says a great deal of uncertainty remains about what happened to the unnamed patient, to the frustration of those avidly following the progress of the vaccine testing. AstraZeneca, which is running the global trial of the vaccine it produced with Oxford University, said the trial volunteer recovered from a severe inflammation of the spinal cord and is no longer hospitalized. AstraZeneca has not confirmed that the patient was afflicted with transverse mellitus, but Nath and another neurologist said they understood this to be the case. And here's what they think it is. Transverse mellitus produces a set of symptoms involving inflammation along the spinal cord and can cause pain, muscle weakness, and paralysis. Burns regulatory body, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, reviewed the case and allowed the trial to resume in the United Kingdom. AstraZeneca needs to be more forthcoming with the potential complication of a vaccine which will eventually be given to millions of people, said Nath. We would like to see how we can help, but the lack of information makes it difficult to do so. Any decision about whether to continue the trial is complex because it's difficult to assess the cause of a rare injury that occurs during a vaccine trial because scientists and authorities have to weigh the risk of uncommon side effects against a vaccine that might curb the pandemic. It says so many factors go into these decisions. And that said, I'm sure everything is on the table. The last thing you want to do is hurt healthy people. It says the NIH has set yet to get tissue or blood samples from the British patient, and its investigation is in planning stages. And that said, U.S. scientists could look at samples from the other vaccinated patients to see whether any of the antibodies they generate in response to the coronavirus also attacks brain or spinal cord tissue. Such studies might take a month or two, he said. The FDA declined to comment on how long it would take before it decides whether to move forward. It says Dr. Jesse Goodman, a Georgetown University professor and physician who was chief scientist and lead vaccine regulator at the FDA during the Obama administration, said the agency will review the data and possibly consult with British regulators before allowing resumption of the U.S. study, which had just begun when the injury was reported. 2 other coronavirus vaccines are also in late-stage trials in the U.S. If it determines the injury in the British trial was caused by the vaccine, the FDA could pause the trial. If it allows it to resume, regulators and scientists surely will be on the watch for similar symptoms in other trial participants. And a volunteer in an earlier phase of the AstraZeneca trial experienced a similar side effect, but the investigators discovered she had multiple sclerosis that was unrelated. Well, let's see what sclerosis is. Abnormal hardening of body tissue, excessive resistance to change. So hardening of body tissue that was unrelated to the vaccination, according to Dr. Elliot Froman, director of the Multiple Sclerosis and some Center at the University of Texas. You know, if you want to read the other, if you want to read the rest of it, it's on CNN.com.
Joins Anderson Cooper live for a full hour. Hear unreleased audio from his taped interview.
You can look up, NIH very concerned about serious side effect in AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine trial. I'm just going to get, this was yesterday. It says AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine trial in U.S. on hold until at least midweek, sources said. It says, AstraZeneca, the middle one. AstraZeneca on Saturday said it had restarted its trial in Britain after regulators completed their review of a serious side effect in one trial participant there. That's about, if you want to read this one as well. AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine trial in U.S. on hold from CNBC.com. Here's another one. AstraZeneca pauses vaccine trial for safety review, the New York Times. This one was published September 8th, 2020. So it was a week ago. But yeah, man. Esau, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, Esau? You can't be slipping up like this, man. You can't. We late in the fourth quarter, man. You can't be having these slip ups, man. You can't be stumbling and falling at the finish line, man. Y'all gonna have to finish through. You're gonna have to finish what you started, man. Revelation 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So come on, Esau. Don't be slipped. Don't let us down now. Don't run now. Don't run now. Don't give up now. Y'all gotta finish what y'all started, man. We waiting on y'all. Push the button, man. Just push it. Y'all can't have y'all's new world order with these many slip ups, man. Y'all want to sit on the temple of the Most High, as the scripture says, professing to be the Most High. So you can't be slipping up when you want to be God. So come on, don't be slipping up, man. Y'all slipping and stumbling, but that's Esau, man. That's Esau. They want to have their little slip ups. They want to make it look like they want to make sure that they're gonna have the little slip ups. So like, well, that happened way too perfectly. They want to put in their little slip ups here and there so it don't look like that everything is running smoothly when everything really is running smoothly. But on the outside, looking in, it looked like that they're having complications, and then eventually they'll be like, oh well, we fix it. But the inside looking out, they know what they're doing. But I just wanted to get that little news report in, show y'all what's going on, because I didn't even know. I seen it. RT News put it up, I believe today, on a little YouTube. You post pictures on YouTube and stuff, and they put it up, so I decided to look it up and go deep into it. But it said, what it say, that disease it was also on this one. It says about to look it up on another one if I can't find it. Here it is. Rare spinal inflammatory disorder called transverse myelitis. We can look it up on here as well. It says transverse myelitis is a rare neurological condition in which the spinal cord is inflamed. Transverse implies that the inflammation extends horizontally across the spinal cord. Partial transverse myelitis and partial myelitis are terms sometimes used to specify inflammation that only affects part of the width of the spinal cord. So it gives you like pain, paralysis. That's something serious, man. Esau, you can't. That's a bad slip up right there. But they know what they're doing. They still gonna come down. They know what they're doing. But yeah, that's all I had. That's double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who wrote Tashut. Shalom to the sincere brother out there who preaches truth and edifying the brothers and sisters who are sharing diligence. And shalom. Oh yeah, and presenting the bodies as a living sacrifice to the Most High Yahweh Shemshah. Shalom to the hopeful legacy out brought throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the few Agwaf who may have listened and watched and who are seeking the Lord diligently. Barak the Yahweh Shemshah Bashan Chak. That's from the Spirit on me to this lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to spirit to bite to the forward. Until next time, shalom, kwam yashal, and the Bible. Shalom.